25-year-old homemaker Tanya Parson for rent money and an unpaid loan. Tanya says Dwayne threw her 6-year-old son into an ice-cold bath.
All rise. Your Honor, case number 97 on the calendar, the matter of Haney versus Parson. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat.
Mr. Haney, the defendant, according to you, was a friend of yours. You allowed her to move into your home on a couple of occasions with her children when she was in some financial distress. You claim now that she owes you for a variety of things, some old loan, rent, utilities.
Correct.
Ms. Parson says there was never an agreement for her to pay you anything. You are angry over two things. You are angry that she rejected your advances. She was not interested in you in a social way, and that bothered you. And second, you are angry because she reported you to the authorities for abusing one of her children. How long do you know her?
I've known her for about 7 years. We dated. A girl I was dating at one time lived in the same neighborhood that she did, same apartment complex. Me and the other girl broke up. Her and I talked. We went our separate ways. We didn't see each other for about 5 years. And one night at a nightclub, run into her. Then we started talking, and next thing you know, we were dating.
And when was that, sir?
And say roughly in the neighborhood about February a year ago.
So why don't you tell me about first the loans and then the arrangement with regard to rent and utilities?
She was calling several times, telling me that she had made a mistake, that she felt that she left me to go with this other guy that dumped her in Ohio.
Are you going to tell me about the loan?
Yes. That's where we're going to.
Let's get there.
She called me up needing money. Her kids needed school supplies for school.
When was this, sir?
Last year, before school. Her and her boyfriend agreed they would pay it back as soon as they can.
So how much did you give them at that time?
I gave them $100.
And then tell me about the rest of your lawsuit involving the rent and utilities.
Well, she left with him, went to Ohio. He threw her out. She came back to Charleston.
When?
February 15th. She asked me could she move back in. I said, okay. Are we talking boyfriend, girlfriend, or do you want my room? She said, what's the difference? I said, well, I'm not going to charge my girlfriend to live with me. You know, that's kind of stupid. And she said, oh, I see. If I sleep with you, then I don't have to pay. I said, no, it's not like that either. You know, if you're in a relationship, you know, you were helping before. There's no sense in, you know, I'm paying all this and you just lay around and do nothing. And she said, no, I just want the rooms. I said, fine. I rented the U-Haul to go get her stuff from Myrtle Beach, gas. Every time I turn around, she would, can I borrow $20 for this? Can I borrow $10 for that? I need cigarettes. I need gas. I want to rent a movie. There was no sexual advances to her in any way.
When did you move out, sir?
April the 29th, I evicted her.
Why?
Because she wasn't paying me any money.
Did you have a discussion with her?
Yes.
Tell me about the discussion you had with her.
She simply said she didn't have the money. I said, Tanya, you got a job. I helped you get a job.
Well, what kind of work did you get for her, sir?
She was a cashier.
Where?
At Speedway, well, Conoco, whatever they call it now. They changed the name.
Did you know how much she was making?
About $100 a week.
And how much of the $100 a week did you expect her to give you, Mr. Haney?
I told her, even if it was $5 a week.
You wanted to see something, $5 a week.
Make an effort.
Okay, so you wanted her to give you $5 a week.
Correct.
Okay, for the 12 weeks that she was living there.
Correct.
Okay, fine.
Now.
And she didn't, so then you threw her out.
No. She had $1,000 coming to her for back child support. She kept telling me, as soon as that gets here, I will pay you up. Get you caught up.
Get you caught up with what?
What she owed me.
Well, what did she owe you?
Loans.
So there's only one loan of $100 that was a year before, sir. That's all the loans that I'm hearing
Correct.
about.
But the dollar here, 20.
Sally, I'm not, listen, my parents didn't send me to law school and college and post-law school for 10 years to talk about the dollar here and the $2 there. That's gone. It's in the wind. Do you understand? What
Here's
else?
a list of every time she borrowed money from me. I wrote it down.
Listen.
She knew it.
Listen to me. You think that I believe that list that you just filled out? Do you think, Mr. Haney, that I believe that every time you gave her $5, you went over to a book and filled out $5, Tanya, for cigarettes? You think that I believe that? You think that my father raised an idiot?
No.
Good. Then let us move on, sir. Let us move on, sir.
Okay. I went and had an eviction notice signed on her.
And you say it's because she did not...
Owes me rent.
Because she did not pay you rent.
Did not pay me rent.
Okay, now...
Didn't pay me for fixing her car.
Okay.
Buying the shoes.
All right, Miss Parson, now I would like you to tell me, madam, I want you to tell me about what happened on the 29th of April or immediately preceding the 29th of April.
When he got me this job at Sunoco gas station, he agreed that he volunteered to watch my children for me while I was at work because I work third shift. And my son is 6 years old. He has a bedwetting problem. He called me one morning at work and asked me to bring home a small brown bag to mail off cigarettes to somebody, and at the same conversation told me that he had spanked my son for bedwetting. He had done it 3 times that night, and he spanked him twice out of the 3 times.
Is that the corporal punishment that you're talking about? The spanking?
He also put him in a tub filled with cold water.
When was that?
The same night.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Haney says his ex-girlfriend Tanya Parson owes for rent and a loan. Tanya says Dwayne threw her 6-year-old son into a cold bath after he wet the bed.
Now, Mr. Haney doesn't deny that he spanked your son for bedwetting, right?
No, I don't deny it.
Okay. Why do you think that that's an appropriate thing to do, sir?
For one, he didn't wet the bed 1 time that night. He did it 3 times.
Do you think that he did it on
Yeah.
purpose, sir?
I don't know. Just like I told him.
Just a second. If you don't know why he wet the bed, that means that you don't know whether he suffered from some sort of a psychiatric disability or a physical disability. You had no idea.
No, but at the same time, the first time he wet the bed, nothing was done. Because he got up in the middle of the night, changed his own clothes, got back in bed, and urinated again.
What
When
does
I
that
woke
tell
up-
you, Mr. Genius? What does that tell you, Mr. Genius? Did that tell you that the 6-year-old was maybe perhaps embarrassed?
Well,
Well, what?
We have gone, him and I have talked about it. Logan, what's wrong? Is there something wrong? No, I'm just lazy. Because he has
I
heard.
want to ask you a question. Did you get your degree in psychology from an accredited
No.
university?
No, I did not.
Did you take any parenting classes before you decided that this was an appropriate way to treat a 6-year-old bedwetter?
No.
Do you have any children of your own?
Oh, yeah.
How many?
I have 2.
How many did you raise?
My daughter comes with me every weekend.
How many did you raise?
None.
Mr. Haney, it is inappropriate for you to physically discipline anyone else's children in the first place. In the second place, until you understand what all the problems might be with a child that causes them to bedwet, the very idea that you would resort to physical punishment suggests to me that you're missing one of the cans of a 6-pack. You understand me, sir?
Oh, yeah.
Now, did you report this to any authority?
The cops were called out. I called the cops out to the house. And
When?
Probably about a week or so later.
Why?
Because of the disagreement me and him were having.
Disagreement about what?
He was threatening to kick me out.
Let me explain something to you, Miss Parson. I believe you probably understand that Mr. Haney had some feeling for you. Correct? Right?
Before I moved in, it was understood.
That's not what I asked you. You're a young, attractive girl, and he's an older fool. And I believe that you needed him. You used him.
No,
Of course you did. You used him.
I did not use him.
Of course you did.
Everything was on the table before I even moved in.
But he wasn't using you. He let you move into his house. You weren't paying rent. He was babysitting for your children. How do you say that I wasn't using him? You were. You were using him, and you were using him because, Miss Parson, you understood that he had feelings for you. That's why it was very important to you to have your agreement with him before you moved in that this is strictly platonic.
No, Your Honor.
Oh, Miss Parson. Oh, yes, my dear. You chose him because he's better than a shelter. Give you a room, he's going to babysit for your kids, you got food, you got everything that you need, and the reason he did it was because he had feelings for you. Isn't that right, Mr. Haney?
To an
Look
extent,
at my
yes.
face.
Yes.
Isn't that right, sir?
Oh, yeah.
Now, when you met her 5 years ago, were you attracted to her?
Yeah.
And at that time, you were 39 and she was 20.
Correct.
Is that right?
That's about right.
That's not a good match, Mr. Haney.
I understand that, but...
So you know what happens when an old guy wants to go out with a young girl? Costs some money.
Well,
And in your case, you know how much it cost you? $160. It's a bargain. It's a cheap lesson, Mr. Haney. Truth of the matter is, you were looking for something more. Mr. Haney, look here, sir. You were looking for something more. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. That doesn't let you come to court like a crybaby and say, now I want all the money for cigarettes and gas I gave her over the 3 months that she lived with me, and this $100 I gave her for school supplies a year ago, because I guarantee you this, Mr. Haney. Had Miss Parson decided to come across and move into your room, you would have forgiven the $100 loan and all the $5 cigarettes and gas. But the fact that she rejected you, and the fact that she ultimately decided, well, I'm going to even make it a little bit more difficult for him. He spanked my kid, and he shouldn't have done that, which, by the way, you shouldn't have done. That doesn't make a lawsuit. That makes a bad relationship. So, Mr. Haney, this relationship didn't cost you a fortune, sir. It cost you a couple $100 and a good lesson. Find somebody age appropriate. Your lawsuit's dismissed. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
it wasn't what the way the judge put it out to be, that I just wanted to sleep with the girl. No, I didn't.
It was agreed upon when I moved in there that it was going to be strictly platonic.
I felt sorry for her because of her kids. I gave her a place to stay. She agreed to pay me the $200 a month.
Once I got in there and he was asking me where was I going, who was I with, why was I with this person, why was I doing what I was doing, and I told him that that was none of his business. It continued to go downhill.
The judge ruled, that's it, in the case.
Mary Bankston is suing her ex-boyfriend, mechanic Weldon Hultgren, for charges he made on her credit card. Mary says she took Weldon in after he was released from prison.
That's case number 474 on the calendar in the matter of Bankston versus Hultgren. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat.
Miss Bankston, who are these people?
This is April Hultgren, Bo's daughter, and my fiance, Randy.
And who is this?
It's my fiance, Tara Harris.
Everybody brings a fiance. What do they have to do with this case? Anything?
She's seen some stuff and heard some stuff, and other than that, that's about it.
Okay. According to what I read, Miss Bankston, he used to be a friend of yours or a boyfriend of yours?
He used to live with me.
Live with you as a boyfriend?
Yes, ma'am.
And then he went to jail?
No, ma'am. He lived with me after he came out of jail.
What year did you go to jail, sir?
In January '92,
And how old was April in 1992?
7.
Who did she live with?
When I was in jail, she was living with my mom and my dad.
What happened with that?
They died.
When did they die?
In '96, my dad died, and in '98, my mom died.
What happened in 1998?
She went to live with a friend of mine for a little while, and her mother come got her. After that, Mary went and got her out of a motel room.
How old was she at the time, Miss Bankston?
She was 13 when I took her.
How did you find her in a motel room?
She called me and told me she wanted something she hadn't eaten in a few days, and I took her something to eat. And when I got to the motel, it was a bad place for her to be. And so I took her with me, and I raised her until he got out.
When did you get out?
In 2001, October 2001.
Were you in communication with Miss Bankston while your daughter was living with her?
Yes, ma'am.
And what did you tell her in this communication?
Told her I appreciated everything she was doing for her.
Who was supporting her at the time she was living with you?
I was.
When you got out of jail, Mr. Hultgren, where did you go?
I moved in with Mary.
Mary and your daughter.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you go to work?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you start supporting the household?
I was pulling my share, ma'am.
What was he paying for?
He was paying like the electric bills, and I paid the house payment because it was my house before he came along, and he paid the electric bill and things like that. He was pulling his weight as long as he lived there. Yes, ma'am.
Did you ever ask Miss Bankstrom how much she spent on your daughter while you were incarcerated?
No.
Why not?
I don't have any idea why I didn't.
Well, this lawsuit's very simple. It said that at some point you used her credit card after you got out of jail while you were living with her. You used her credit card. You told her you would pay for the bills on her credit card, and you didn't. And you owe her some money, $1,100.
Right.
So?
She got me some credit cards off her account, and went and ate on them and done some stuff on them. I took my boy to World Series, Little League World Series up in Oklahoma on a gas card, and other than that, I was paying them until I left.
And so what happened when you left?
I don't know, it wasn't a good scene.
Did you leave with your daughter or without your daughter?
I left without my daughter.
So you left your daughter there?
No, she wasn't living there at the time, I don't think.
Where was she living?
Living in another place.
Where was she living?
She was living with another friend of ours.
Why?
Her and her father did not get along, so she moved out of the house.
Okay. Can I see the charges that he made?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Would you like all the evidence? Or just
Sure.
that?
Golden Corral,
That's an eating establishment.
Japanese Palace.
Another eating establishment. I have several eating establishments that we ate at on my credit cards too.
Well, this is a lot of eating out.
Been 10 years since I ate out anywhere, so we kind of ate out pretty regular.
So why don't you pay for it?
Well, I really don't feel like I owe her anything on that, because I put I've done some other things, I wasn't trying to get anything from her that I've done over there. I mean,
Well, give me an example, sir.
I put a storage building in her backyard. It was like $900-something bucks. I helped put a central air and heating unit in her house. I have a labor on there. I put some electrical work in the garage and stuff.
Well, how much do you think it takes to support a teenager, sir? A month?
Quite a bit.
Listen, if you have a large golden retriever, you can't take care of a large golden retriever for less than $100 a month. So would you say it costs $200 a month to take care of a teenager?
At least.
Let's try 3.
Yeah, right.
14 months, right? And she was there 14 months, and you didn't pay any support, right? So why would you stick her with $1,100 worth of bills?
The bottom line is that it was kind of crazy over there. There's several things that happened, and she wrecked my motorcycle and all that. Right
She
there.
what?
At the end. She wrecked my motorcycle.
She wrecked your motorcycle. I couldn't understand. She wrecked your motorcycle. How'd
Right.
you do that?
Well, she took off on it and crashed
That he
it.
wouldn't even had if I had not had financed it for him.
And I was without the motorcycle for 3 months. I paid $500 a month on that while I was in the shop. $6,500 a month.
Well, did she do that on purpose?
Well, I told her not to get on it because she never drove one before, and she took off on it on her own wheel and crashed it. Hurt herself real bad. And then right before I got the motorcycle, I was going to refinance the motorcycle because she kept hounding me about getting it refinanced.
Because
out of
she
her
was on a
name.
loan.
Right.
Well, she asked you to refinance it because she didn't want to be on the loan.
Right.
Well,
So
that sounds right to me.
Well, I finally did that, and the day I was
No, he
going
didn't.
the day I was going to refinance it, she called me and told me that she wasn't going to sign off on that loan until I give her $1,000. And I said, well, I ain't give you $1,000. And I went out there and traded it in and got it out of her name anyway.
What a prince. This is your fiancé. Is there anything you want to say to me?
Yeah, do I need to stand up? I just have one comment, and that is, whenever he went to refinance the motorcycle last year, he got his credit report and got it back, and it was about that thick, where he only had 4 credit cards in his name that he had gotten since they split up. Well, this had 18 open accounts on it.
We're not talking about the charges for those.
I know, but what I'm saying is...
What's your name?
Tara Harris,
Miss Harris, how old are you?
32,
You have children?
1,
How old?
12.
Who supports that child?
Me and him support him, and I get child support.
Get child support from the child's father?
Yes.
Get child support every month?
No, ma'am.
Every week?
No, ma'am.
How often?
Supposed to get it every month.
Yeah. And what happened?
He's been living at my house. He was with his dad. He's been living with us for the last year.
Oh, so
And-
before that he was living with his father?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you paying child support
Yes,
to his
ma'am.
father? How often?
Out of every paycheck, weekly.
Now, when you don't get child support from his father, does that annoy you?
Yes, ma'am.
And that child is biologically related to you
Correct.
and biologically related to his father. How do you feel about somebody who doesn't feel any responsibility to somebody who supports their child for 14 months,
She lived with me for 5 years before he got out.
5 years, and pays for clothes, doctor, shoes, vacation, everything else, and doesn't say, as soon as I get out, I'm going to start paying you back for whatever you laid out because I know that that's my responsibility? Think that kind of person has good moral fiber?
Actually, I think Bubba does have good moral fiber. He just, he didn't work for 10 years. He didn't have the money.
Well, he does now.
Yes, ma'am, he does, and he
So
greatly
just a second.
appreciates.
Just a second. I don't care if he appreciates. You got to put your money where your mouth is, honey. Appreciating is not good enough. How could you say he's got good moral fiber? He's working now. And if his child was supported by a stranger for 5 years, and not only supported by, but nurtured by, stayed with, took care of when she was sick, whatever else, you start paying that back. You start saying that was my obligation. And because I committed a crime doesn't mean that I don't have that obligation. So instead of not paying her support, now, I'm not talking about a year ago or 2 years ago, I'm talking about now. Instead of supporting your child, to whom he is not obligated in any way legally, you should send that money to her. She's not even suing for that money. I would love for her to do that. All she says was he used the credit card, $1,100, and that he should pay. Don't you think he should pay that too? Minimally.
No, I don't think he should pay that credit card debt.
You think he should pay her for supporting his daughter?
He's probably, yeah, I would say that he's probably responsible for that.
Well,
I
she's
know
not
that
suing.
she claimed
She's
it.
not suing him for that. She says, I took that responsibility on myself, and I'm not even going to pursue that. I just want what he's supposed to pay me on the credit card when he left. You get my drift.
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,100. That's all.
Tony's going to excuse. You may step out.
I felt he could buy other things. He could buy a new Harley, but he couldn't pay me $1,100 for credit card bills that he charged us.
What her great for? I mean, I don't know what I've done. If she wouldn't have been there, I don't know where she'd be, you know?
He has somebody else. I have somebody else. We're friends. We have a daughter together.
I'm just glad she's gonna get paid, so I don't have to hear him argue anymore.
I will never put nobody on my credit cards ever again.
I ain't key that man car, and you know Yolanda went up to you about so many times and told you that she keyed your car.
He say, she say. It's really, that's what it is.
You can sit over there and act like you Mr. Innocent and all that. You just wanted to be on TV.
A friend of hers told her that I said something that is very middle schoolish, that is very childish, and I'm above that.
It's not even about just keying the car. It's also about the the fire extinguisher on the car.
We talked to him the same exact night, and the boy made it seem like everything was fine.
It really don't matter to me. I just know what was done. I know what was not done.
He calling somebody to look at other people besides me. I'm too ugly.
I don't have no problem with it. At least nothing be said about me and nothing said to me. I'm fine.
Can I go now? Because I'm getting upset.
I was out with my friend and he was accusing me of cheating on him.
Well, she was cheating on me.
She told me that she was going to go out with a guy from work and she was gone all day.
I'm just glad it's over with. He's a loser. I'm glad I'm gone with him.
Now it just kind of, I'm more mad about it now than I am heartbroken.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Lombardo versus Rao. Step forward, please.
21-year-old waitress Elizabeth Lombardo is suing her ex-boyfriend, 22-year-old construction worker Bo Rao, for several loans she made throughout their relationship. Bo says Elizabeth is holding his belongings hostage.
Miss Lombardo, this gentleman used to be your boyfriend, and you lived together for a period of time. According to you, when you separated, he owed you some money.
Yes.
Mr. Rao says he doesn't owe you any money. Relationships are a give-and-take thing. So get over it and move on with it, right?
Yes, ma'am.
When did you live together, Miss Lombardo?
We lived together from May probably to August of 2004. We started in May 2003.
Is that about right?
That's about right.
And did you move into an apartment together, or did you?
No, we moved in with my family.
That's wrong, Your Honor. Prior to that, we were living at my apartment with my brother, and she was staying over there. Then we moved.
When was that, sir?
That was April and May. We stayed in the apartment, then moved there.
I still had a room in my house. It
I
wasn't.
don't care whether you still had a room in your house. Were you living with Mr. Rao and his brother for April and May?
Yes.
And then the two of you moved into her family's house?
Yes, ma'am.
Where you had a room?
Yes.
Fine. So what does he owe you money for?
Throughout the course of our relationship, the defendant didn't have a job, so I helped support him. From a dental bill, his car windshield was smashed, dentist, car
You said
payments,
dentist
municipal
twice.
court payments.
Your Honor, I had a job.
So you gave him money?
Yes.
And?
We had a verbal agreement when we were going out that he would pay it back.
Well, tell me about the verbal agreement that he would pay it back.
Just throughout the court, he would pay me money when he had money, and when he didn't have a job, I was always forking out money for him.
How often? 5 times, 10 times, 20 times?
There was always, it was constant.
And he always said to you, you have $20, I'll pay you back. You have $50, I'll pay you back.
Yeah.
Right? Go ahead.
Then when we separated, we decided he was going to make payments of $40 a week, in which he never continued to do. I received one payment of $50.
Well, how did you come up with the amount that he owed you?
We kept it in mind at all times.
Did you?
No, Your Honor, when we were going out, we weren't keeping...
When you moved out, did you agree to pay her a sum of money?
Oh, no, Your Honor.
You did not?
No, Your Honor.
When you separated, did you sit down and write up something?
Yes.
Let me see it. Did you sign this IOU?
No, Your Honor. And for us to sign each other's name on something was pretty common. I could show you receipts with my signing for her debit card, or her signing for my debit card. It was nothing.
You didn't sign this?
No, Your Honor.
Right. Tell me the circumstances surrounding your separation, Mr. Rao.
The relationship just got ridiculous. She was constantly lying. Everything that would come up would be a lie about something. I couldn't live at her house anymore. And I actually left for the weekend after a fight, and when I came back, all my stuff was at my parents' house, and she said I had to be out.
So she moved your stuff out?
She moved it with no notice of anything, so that she wanted me out.
I'm ready to hear the rest. 30 seconds or less, Ms. Lombardo.
When he moved out, when he wanted his bed, his stuff was there. That's when I more, believe that he signed the paper.
Well, just a minute. So is what you're telling me, you told me he couldn't take his things unless he signed the paper? Mm-hmm. Then even if he signed it, it's worthless.
He had a disagreement with me.
Let me explain something to you. He didn't. What you're saying is that during the course of your year and some months relationship, if you gave him $20, if you gave him $50, whatever it was, he said to you, when I get it, I'll pay you back. And that's what people do when they live together and they're not married. Don't worry, honey, I'll pay you back. That's not a loan. When two people play house and not commit to a relationship as we know it and get married, courts aren't interested in going over $20 here, $5 here, $15 there, $100 for the dentist, $12 for this. Courts aren't interested in doing that. We got other things to do. Mm-hmm. So it's been my suggestion, if you watch carefully, if I've always said, keep your finances separate. Mm-hmm. So I think you have to put a real period and say, it's over.
I'm fine.
How old are you?
21.
21? Perfect. You didn't waste a lot of your time. You didn't waste the best years. You didn't waste the flowing years. Who is this, by the way?
This is my girlfriend, Your Honor.
She have anything to contribute to this case other than, looking nice?
No, just
she decided to come with you.
She's seen the craziness.
To irritate her.
Yeah.
Well, probably not the best idea to bring her. Who is this?
This is my friend.
So he brought a girlfriend, you brought a friend. Move on. He did. You should. Have a happy life. Case dismissed.
Parties are excused. You must step out.
Just pathetic that he has to lie that I didn't lend him money, that I supported him, and that he didn't sign the paper when he did sign the paper.
She makes up fake things. She lied. The whole relationship was basically a joke.
You trust someone and you can't.
It was out of trust and love because she's a nice person, and that's what happens when you're nice to people and trust them.
She just needs to get over it because he's no longer anymore.
He's a scumbag.
It's over, man. It's over. It's all over.
They're complaining that they got some t-shirts, but you didn't send them half of the ones that they ordered.
There were a lot of changing designs that took up our time, that took up our money, that we didn't charge him for. That is not our fault. We don't make the design. I don't know if that makes sense.
That sounds like a yada, yada, yada.
This is Judy Justice. Bailiff Cassandra Britt is standing in for Bailiff Kevin Roscoe, and Law Clerk Alexi Menser is sitting in for Law Clerk Sarah Rose. Isaiah Kamchan and Brandon Uloa are suing their former supplier, Manuel Garcia, for the cost of a t-shirt order.
Order in the court. All rise. Have a seat, please.
Case number 3072, Kamchan Ulola versus Garcia.
Thank you. Who is Mr. Kamchan? You were starting up a business, t-shirt business.
Correct.
The defendant was also in business. He makes shirts. I assume you were having them made to sell them either online or at events.
Correct.
You don't have a store, is that right?
Online store.
Online. What's the name of your company?
Risen Athletics.
Reason?
Risen.
Risen. Spell it.
RIZIN space athletics.
And where are they incorporated?
Ceres, California.
In the state of California?
In the state of California.
And it's a corporation. You have a license. You've incorporated it.
Correct.
Here.
There's a website, about 9 items of clothing.
May I see it, please? Make it go. Could you go back to, okay, I just want to see where they order them from. Great. And what's the name of your company, sir?
MFP Studios.
MFP Studios.
Correct.
Where are you located?
Los Angeles.
How long have you been in business, Mr. Kamchan?
About a year and a half.
Did you make any money the first year you were in business?
Yes.
How much?
Approximately 10,000, a little over.
Nice. In that first year, did you get any merchandise from Mr. Garcia?
We did.
So you made some money from the merchandise?
Not from his clothing, actually.
Not from his. What other company do you deal with?
We did wholesaling through Champion, the website.
Champion is a wholesaler? I thought they were a retailer.
So they have a website where you can wholesale and buy a bunch of garments that they allow you to reprint on and sell. So that's what we did originally.
I found an Instagram page for MFP Studios. The website is coming soon.
I have the website currently closed right now.
Currently closed.
Yeah.
You what?
Yeah, our website opens and closes like periodically, so right now it's actually closed. But if you would like, I can go and open it for you guys so you guys can take a look at it.
I want to know why it closes, Mr. Garcia. What does that mean?
So usually the way that my company works is that we do custom manufacturing for specific brands, so it's very customized. But at times I do produce blanks on my own where I'll put on my website. Currently we don't have any, so my website is closed until we produce them and then we post them on our website. I don't know if that makes sense.
doesn't make sense. How much money did the plaintiffs send you to produce T-shirts for them? How much money
For
did
the T-shirts?
How much money did the plaintiffs send you to produce T-shirts for them? And I'd like to see the order.
Okay.
Can I
So
see all the
these
papers?
Would be the invoices for the T-shirts.
Thank you. Did they pay all of these invoices?
Yes.
Lex, would you add up these invoices for me, please? How many T-shirts were they supposed to have?
Total should have been approximately 320.
Is that correct?
That's correct.
That's correct.
How many did they receive? That's what this case is about.
Correct. They should have received at least 180.
So about half.
Correct.
It's not true.
Just a second.
All right.
And you got paid.
Correct.
Well, at least for that number of shirts, they get their money back, right? Duh. For the number of T-shirts that you didn't send them, they get their money back.
Well, there was a couple other things that were taking into place, so that's
Like
kind of
what?
for this. So there was a lot of changes that were being made.
Hold on a second. Lexi.
7996.
7996 is the total of all those invoices. Great. All I'm saying to you, Mr. Garcia, this is the case that we hear about. They're complaining that they got some T-shirts, but they were not what they ordered. You acknowledge that they didn't get half the T-shirts at all, and you didn't make them, and your website is now offline.
Well, that happens like every...
I don't care.
Yeah, okay.
I don't care. I don't know any other company that takes their website offline. I mean, I don't understand that.
I could give you a list of a couple.
I don't want you to give me a list of any. I want you to tell me why they're not entitled to at least half their money back.
So like I was stating, there was a bunch of other changes. So them not being happy with the garments that they received, that at the end of the day, I can't control. That is what they've ordered. I sent them pictures. I'm
talking about the ones that they didn't receive, sir, not the ones that they did.
Okay.
They were not happy, which they will tell me about the half that they received. You acknowledge that you didn't send them half of the ones that they ordered.
Correct.
Well, why should they pay for those? That's what I'm asking you to answer.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm trying to explain. So
Try to explain it to me so that Alexi understands it. He's much smarter than I am.
So when it comes down to custom manufacturing, there's a lot of other components that come into place. There were a lot of changing designs. There was a lot of remaking of screens for us to get the design onto the T-shirt that we had to do, that took up our time, that took up our money, that we didn't charge him for. So that's kind of where everything in terms of like the money goes to, is what we're saying. It's like, okay, if you're going to be making all these changes and then you're not happy with it, if you can see, I have pictures of me sending them a print of the T-shirt and them saying, oh, the print looks different. At the end of the day, we don't work on the designs. We don't change their designs. Whatever they send us is what we put on the T-shirt. If it doesn't come right on the T-shirt, that is not our fault. We don't make the design.
That sounds like a yada, yada, yada.
Isaiah Kamchan and Brandon Uloa claim their former supplier, Manuel Garcia, did not properly fulfill their T-shirt order and owes them a refund.
Let me see if I can give you the Reader's Digest of what he was saying and tell me if that's what you understood. Would you do that for me? They ordered 320 T-shirts. For all intents and purposes, and because of our easy math, he sent them half. They paid for 320. What he's saying is because they kept making changes, they spent more time on the half that they got, so they didn't feel that they had to send them the other half. Is that what you're getting?
Yes.
That's a duh. Do you understand? That's a duh. You know, I'm trying to think of an analogous situation for you. I'm a dentist's daughter, and I know that sometimes in my father's business, somebody would come in and he'd look at a tooth and he'd say, you know what? It's a simple filling, you know, and going to charge so much. And then he started to work. Patient said, okay, you know, that's a reasonable figure. And he started to work. And all of a sudden he found, well, there was a little something else in there that he really had to do in order to do what he said he could do for $20. And so it took him more time. You think he charged the patient for that? No, he didn't. So you at least owe them half of what they sent you. They sent you $8,000. Let's make it nice and easy because I'm an easy girl. And you didn't send them half the T-shirts. Now we're going to talk about the T-shirts that you did send them. Because are we finished with the ones that you didn't? Yep. Now we're going to go to the ones that they did send. And you have to show me why they were unsatisfactory. Pick it up.
Perfect.
So this is the sample that we received from him. So like the way samples work is he'll send us the clothing. We'll A-OK it. So we A-OK this. This is a large, by the way. Everything's perfect. Everything's great.
Okay, good.
So let me show you the XL and the small.
So this right here I'm holding is an XL. The difference. And you want to see another thing?
Smaller.
This is what I'm holding is a small. We ordered 4 small sizes: small, medium, large, and XL.
Hold on, can I see the smalls?
Yeah.
Can I see?
Oh, sorry. Still sorry. Here you go.
No. Well, this could be a small, a big small, but small. Can I see the extra small, please?
Extra large.
Extra large?
Yeah.
Same exact size.
They're the same size. The small and the extra large, if you hold them up together, they're exactly the same size.
Lexi, hold these up together, would you please? Let me see. He said they're the same size. I don't think so, could I? One certainly looked bigger to me, but not a small and an extra large. Okay. Now, this is what I'd like you to do, Cassandra. I want you to send these over to the defendant, and I'd like him to explain to me why these are the same size. One is labeled small, one is labeled extra large. This has nothing to do with a change of design. This has to do with almost math, which, as we all know, is not my strong suit. Okay, so now give me an explanation, sir. This has nothing to do with changing of the design. That has to do with 2 t-shirts that are exactly the same. One says small, one says extra large. Explain it.
This is a very simple fix, so there was just an issue with the tag and the labeling.
Just a second. That's what you sent them.
Yeah, that's
Just a
exactly
second.
my explanation. No, this is for the actual garment. What I was referring to was the print on the design.
No, I'm talking about the actual garment. Did you send that to them?
I did send
Just
it.
a second. You sent that to them with the label that was mislabeled.
Correct.
Okay. How many of the mislabeled t-shirts did you send them?
It's a very common mistake in manufacturing.
Don't give me-
I'm not sure. They didn't give me a number of how many were mixed up.
How many?
Exactly 73.
You see, what the problem, Mr. Garcia, is they can't sell those online because if somebody calls and orders a small and they send them a small, it's an extra large. Or if somebody calls and orders an extra large and they get it and it's got a small.
And that could be easily fixed by just changing
Who
the tag.
cares?
Yeah.
You know, my face could be easily fixed.
Both.
Not so easily anymore.
These are all just fixed. I mean, they can all be fixed.
Yeah.
When it happens, it doesn't always like have to be sent out.
yada, yada. Okay, so half you didn't send them and 73 you sent them wrong. Of the other half, 73 you sent them
Labeled
wrong.
Correct.
You sent them wrong that they can't resell as you sent them online. I mean, they could send them to a pop-up store and sell them for nothing.
Or
And say,
donate them.
you know, you try it on and see whether it fits you. But you can't sell them online. Otherwise, their business would be destroyed. Okay, what about the rest? Now we're finished with the sizes.
He has claimed to sent us over 180 shirts. That's incorrect. He sent us 123 exactly.
Do you have any proof that you sent them 180 shirts?
I had them in text messages, but I don't have that phone. But I mean, I'm sure that
Everybody that has no case has no phone.
I mean, I have
Mr. Garcia,
I
everybody
have
that
proof
has
that I
no
sent them
proof,
pictures, yes, I have
everyone,
photos.
then show it to me that you sent them 180 shirts.
Well, I don't have all 180 in the picture. I mean, I don't know if you'll be able to count them, but
You want me to count them? You're in
necessarily.
business, Mr. Garcia.
you want to show it?
No, you're in business, sir. That's not the way you run a business. 120 they sent, and of the 120, how many were you able to sell?
Out of the 120?
Just a second. And out of the 120, does that include the 73 that were wrong size?
Yeah.
Oh, that includes.
So
the
we're
70
left with only 50 that weren't labeled incorrectly.
How many shirts did he send you that you were able to sell
0. We sold none of his shirts.
because they were mislabeled or you didn't
Mislabeled
get
or
them?
misprinted and didn't get them.
Great. Do you have any text messages between the two of you?
So many.
Anything in specific?
I'd like you to show me one where you say to him, we cannot sell these shirts, they're the wrong size.
We'll show you the demand letter. So we sent him a demand letter, hoping that he'd still try to solve it outside of court, but he never replied to it and just never sent us
So
anything.
it'd be us telling him that the items received were not as promised, and the other side would be the lawsuit issue.
Okay.
You say in this demand letter that you are requesting, first of all, he doesn't communicate with you when you send him information back and forth. So you say, sir, since you do not wish to communicate us, here's an official demand letter.
Yes.
You say that you paid him $15,986.
Correct.
Well, that's not what your lawsuit is here.
Isaiah Kamchan and Brandon Uloa have accused their former supplier, Manuel Garcia, of owing them a refund after sending the wrong T-shirts.
Okay, did he send you any T-shirts?
No T-shirts.
So how much did you pay him?
All in all, minus the setup fees that we're also suing for, it is exactly...
No.
Oh, sorry.
I want to know where the $15,986 comes from.
So in this order, we did order 320 pairs of shirts, but we also ordered 240 pairs of shorts that we're not suing for.
Why?
He fulfilled that.
He fulfilled the short section.
He filled the short section.
Yeah, fulfilled the short.
Is that what's on your website for sale?
Yes.
Yes.
The shorts.
The shorts.
The shorts. So it's just the
shirts.
T-shirts.
Shirts.
So you did fulfill the order for the shorts.
Correct.
Do you have a pair of those shorts for me to see? I would just like to take a look at them.
No.
We did not because we weren't aware. We weren't suing for those.
No, I understand that. Did he get the shorts with the same screening as on those, or are they different?
Different screen.
Design.
So different setup fees, different screens. We paid for that. We're not suing for that portion.
We have
Just
invoices for them though.
Can I see?
Yeah. Shorts.
Of course, there were shorts on their website, right?
It might be in there.
Are they blue?
Right there.
Yeah,
Blue, red, and black.
red, and black.
Blue, red, and black, and they just have a little design on
Yeah,
it.
correct.
These are
Okay.
all invoices, but if you want to show a specific,
And they were okay.
they're gonna be
Yeah, they're
here.
okay.
Okay, well, they're on your website, so you're selling them.
Yeah, so that's gonna be shorts for prints, and we also
The T-shirts are not on their website, correct?
There are some. There are two. One T-shirt.
Yeah, that's not it,
One T-shirt down.
and that's not it. Okay, so those are not on the website.
And,
Got it.
And one other, but that's also
That's
not
not it. That's certainly not those T-shirts, not the same screen.
something missing in there is the invoice for the shorts material. We are suing for the screens in that. That's the only reason that invoice is here, because he charged us for owning of screens and films that he told us we had to pay for that we owned and we never received as well.
Screens and
Yeah, so when
Tell me, explain that to me.
So when making clothing, you pay for garments and then you have to pay for screens and film. So screens is like these big metal square frames, and then you put a
Did
film
you pay for those?
We did, which are in those invoices. The only invoice we're missing is our shorts.
Did you receive those screens?
Well, I made them, so yeah, I had them.
Did you charge them?
Yes, I did charge them for them.
And where are they?
Well, we don't turn in the screen, so so the way that screen printing works is that when you burn screen, you hold them for only 2 months. You don't store them for months and months on end. So after 2 months, if they're not being used, if we're not printing with them, we recycle them.
Mm-hmm.
The films is just a piece of paper that I do have handy. So
He told us that we own them and we can receive them whenever we want them for future references. So that's why we had asked for the.
So you destroy them?
Correct.
Okay. So then we get to the $9,000. Actually, $9,100. Are you, Mr. Garcia, is your company incorporated in California? I forgot the answer to that question. It's not an answer.
No, I mean, I'm self-employed.
You're self-employed. You have a company, you said.
Yeah.
Well, if you have a company, then you have to be incorporated.
Well, I have like an LLC. Is that what you're referring to?
Or an LLC. Do you have an LLC?
I do have an LLC, yes.
Do you have what's the name of it?
MFP Studios.
Do you find that registered in the state of California? Is it registered, sir?
It shouldn't, yeah, but it probably won't be under that name. It would be under All Hills.
Under what?
All Hills.
So a different name.
I have the paperwork. I don't know. I mean, doing business as MFP Studios.
Why?
That's just the way that I was set up. So when I got an LLC, it was through one of my business partners at first. So then he just gave
How
me
many
that.
business partners do you have?
I just have one.
Who is
Well, he's
that?
not even a business partner. He just gave me that LLC so I could use it.
Great.
Yeah.
We're finished here. You haven't used his services. I can't say company. You haven't used his services since
No.
2022.
Correct.
Okay, got it. Judgment for the plaintiff for the amount of $9,100. We're finished.
Thank you, Your
Case is
Honor.
now
Thank you.
closed. Court is adjourned.
She sided with them, and I mean, I just got to keep doing my business and just keep going, man.
I like that she was able to see that he was clearly taking advantage of us, so I'm happy she saw the same thing we saw.
It's just something that happens in this business. It happens more often than you think. Overseas, there's a bunch of cases. I don't know if she's familiar with the business, or I'm not sure. I know that it happens often. It was an easy fix. They could have still sold the shirts, but I just think they just didn't want to do it.
Why would you bother sending these knowing we never agreed on it?
If you've really been in the business, there's ways to do it where you can still sell it and make your money back to where you have a good relationship with your manufacturer.
Never tried working with us. Like, he would barely even respond. Like, he actually stopped even communicating with me because I threatened to sue him once, so then he started communicating with him.
But if, you come and you're just, I want a full refund, it's going to be very hard to even fix the issue versus just, it's more of a fix the issue thing than get everything done all over again.
But we tried our best for a whole year and nothing was happening, so that's when we're like, you know what, we can't let somebody walk all over us like this because it's our company. It's going to be detrimental if we wait even longer because it's past a year. So that's when we decided to.
The constant changes, they weren't comprehending with my time schedules in terms of how I did things, and it didn't work out. They're also a long distance client. My clients usually come into my warehouse. We're more hands-on, so I don't think it's a good fit.
Definitely take baby steps, live and learn. You're gonna fall a little bit. It's just how you get back up.
A big lesson learned, for sure.
Rise to the occasion. That's what we always say. We'll be back better than ever.
My biggest takeaway was the power of credibility. Those plaintiffs came in, they knew exactly how much they paid for each item, they knew exactly what they received, and they had receipts to back it up. And when you have your day in court, it's important you have your arms fully around your own case.
Yeah, and it only made the defendant look that more implausible.
Absolutely.
Your two children came to marry your cousin.
He was in fact cheating on me.
You married his cousin.
His brother.
That's not him, is it?
That's him right there, yes ma'am.
I would make a beeline for the door.
This is Judy Justice. Godwin Onyebujor is suing his child's mother, Deanna Williams, for assault, false arrest, and parking tickets.
Court come to order. All rise.
Have a seat, please.
Hello, Judge. Case 3058, Onyebujor versus Williams.
Thank you. Mr. Onyebujor, you have one child with the defendant.
Yes, Your Honor.
And one on the way.
I'm not sure if it's mine yet, Your Honor.
Well, she says it's yours. And you were, in fact, living together.
At the time, not right now.
You were living together from when to when?
From January this year till about April.
So the one child that you have together was conceived when you were not living together?
We're living together. The first child we had, we're living together at my parents.
And how long were you living with your parents?
About throughout the whole time, my daughter was born.
When was that?
May 12, 2018. She was born.
How long were you living with her at your parents' house?
We're living together the whole time before we moved out.
Give me the time frame. How many years? From when to when?
5 years, about 5 years. Sorry. Yeah.
So that would be from 2013 to 2018, or from 2018 to 2023?
2018 to 23.
So you've been constantly living together?
Yeah,
both at your parents' house and then in this apartment that you leased?
Yeah, between those time we moved out together to Long Beach, but we moved back in with my parent as well. So
fine. So you moved back and forth, but you've been together with her since 2018.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
When did she marry your brother? In what year?
It's my cousin, not my brother.
Just a second.
Okay.
Actually, it's who?
It's my cousin, not my brother.
Your cousin?
Yes.
When did she marry your cousin?
I think I had to be 20.
When did you marry his cousin?
In February 2018.
Were you living together at the time she married your cousin?
No, we weren't.
And in what month did you start living with him at his parents' house?
About after I had my daughter, May 14th, 2018.
Well, clearly you were with him before you moved into his parents' house.
Yes.
Because if your daughter was born, I'm not really good in math, but clearly you were together, even if you weren't living with his parents when you married his cousin.
His brother.
You say his brother, he says his cousin, his relative.
It's his brother.
And where was his relative?
In Nigeria.
Is he now here?
Yes.
And are you in the process of divorcing?
Yes, ma'am.
That's not him, is it?
That's him right there, yes.
Oh, that would be you right there.
Yes, ma'am.
I would make a beeline for the door. No, sit down.
All right.
Okie dokie. It is your claim that the defendant assaulted you on several occasions. You're going to tell me when. That in addition to assaulting you, she vandalized your home during your last argument.
Yes, Your Honor.
By throwing grease on the kitchen walls from a fry pan.
Yes, Your Honor.
That you purchased a car that allegedly was supposed to be her car, but it's in your name because you had better credit, according to her. That after this breakup, she took the car. And while she had the car, she racked up hundreds of dollars in parking tickets or other toll fines.
Yes, Your Honor.
You've subsequently taken back the car.
No, Your Honor. I purchased the car. She never has a job. I work 2 jobs.
Could you just answer my question? Did you subsequently take back the car?
The vehicle is mine, Your Honor. I took it back, Your Honor. Yes, yes, ma'am.
Just answer. You took it back from her.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And you're suing her for the tickets that you racked up on the car because the car is in your name.
Yes, Your Honor.
She says, no, you're violent. You assaulted her. Oh, and you're also suing her for false arrest. A lot going on here. You're suing him because you say he abused you, and it was really your car. It was just in his name, as I said, because he had a better credit score. You didn't address the parking fines, but you want something for this car. Okay, just for my own information, Miss Williams, your daughter is now 5?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're expecting another?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a massage therapist.
For whom?
I'm just on my own. I just graduated.
So you're not doing it yet?
No, but I've been...
Just a second. Did you file income tax returns last year?
Yes.
How much did you earn last year when you filed your income tax returns? You personally?
I
just be very careful.
Yeah.
How much did you claim that you earned if you filed income tax?
Well, I had a W-2. I was previously working at the DMV.
And how much did you earn?
About 25 to 30K.
Okay, let's get to the assaults that you reference, sir, in your complaint. We're going to do assaults first. When was the first assault?
It was in February 2023.
I don't want to get to the first assault because after February 2023, you moved back together.
Yeah, temporary.
Just a second.
Yes, Your Honor.
You claim you were assaulted. You went to the hospital. You had broken ribs.
Yes, Your Honor.
Police were called, and you weren't together at that time. She left the house.
Yes, Your Honor, because she has a restraining order.
You filed a restraining order against her. But then you invited her back to the house in March.
I never invited her. She came back to the house, and I never...
Just a second.
Yes.
When she came back in March, did she come back in March and stay for a period of time? Just be careful.
Yes, Your Honor.
We're going to...
Yes, Your Honor.
We're not going to play a mind game here, sir.
Yes, Your Honor.
She came back.
Yes, Your Honor.
You agreed that she could come back.
Yeah, because her name is on the lease. I can't kick her out.
Yes, Your Honor. Not because her name may be on the lease. You couldn't kick her out. Did you sleep with her?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you sleep with her?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah, that's not on a lease anywhere because she's married to your brother. Do you understand?
My cousin, Your Honor.
Cousin. Okay. Do you understand? So you invited her back to the house after this assault. And in the law, you know what we call that? Condonation. Well, it was an assault, but you forgave her because you invited her back to the house.
She has no place to go. I had to let her.
I don't listen. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. If you say she came back because she was on the lease, she had no place to go, that would make you altruistic. Sleeping with her is a different situation. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So all 3 were true. She was on the lease.
Yes, Your Honor.
She had no place to go.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you slept with her.
Yes, Your Honor.
There we go. That's called condonation. That may be an expensive condonation for you, but it's condonation. Now, so she moves back in March, and what's next?
She moved back in March, and we had an incident where I gave my daughter my phone, and she takes the phone from her, and she kept going through my phone while I was sleeping because I worked 2 jobs. In between those times,
Just a second. So she took your phone.
Yes, Your Honor.
And she looked through your phone.
Yeah, she does that frequently. Well, most of the time she does.
I don't care. Every woman does the same thing. Men do it too. So she looked through your phone.
Yes, Your Honor.
And what did she find?
She said she found a lady that bought a car from me because I sold the car to a friend of hers. She said I was talking to her, and she got mad over me talking to her.
Just a second. So she found that you were talking to another lady.
Yes, Your Honor. That was her friend.
Just a second. Don't explain yourself to me, sir. I'm still trying to figure out the brother-cousin.
We were...
Godwin Onyebujo claims his child's mother, Deanna Williams, assaulted him and had him falsely arrested. Deanna is countersuing, claiming Godwin assaulted her multiple times.
Okay. When she looked through the phone, where were you?
I was laying down in the bedroom.
This was in March?
Yes, Your Honor.
March what?
I think it was March 28th.
And you were lying down, and?
She kicked down the door, and she came into the room, and she hit me in the upside the head with a perfume bottle.
Not the phone?
No, not the phone. Because my daughter had the phone. I thought my daughter had the phone, but when she came into the room, she kept asking me, "Who was that? Were you talking to this person?" And I said, "Yeah, but nothing sexual or nothing like bad about my conversation with her." But she was mad about it, because she got aggressive. So she hit me upside the head with a perfume bottle, punched me in the eyes, and she ran out the door with my daughter.
This was March 28th?
Yes, Your Honor.
Were you treated for that anywhere?
No, I wasn't, Your Honor.
Did you take any photographs of it?
The police did.
May I see them?
I don't have it right now, man.
The police were called?
They were called because I went to work that day. Because as soon as the incident happened, she took my phone, she ran out the door, so I couldn't call the police. So I went straight to work. So they came to my job to arrest me. That she had scratched herself because after they released me, she told me that she did that because she thought she was going to get arrested for hitting me.
Because she had a prior restraining order.
Yes, Your Honor.
What happened to that case?
It's dismissed.
Is that right?
Yes, I believe so.
What do you mean you believe so?
I have evidence.
I was never notified. Just from what he told me, the case was dismissed.
Well, why don't you tell me what happened, your version of what happened on March 28th? March 28th, you were looking at his phone. You were looking at his phone. Listen to me, be very careful. March 28th, you were looking at his phone.
It was March 29th.
March 29th, you were looking at his phone. And?
I was looking in his phone. I found messages and cash apps of him sending another woman money.
Now, in what room in the apartment were you when you were looking at the phone?
So this incident is not related to what he's talking about. That was the night before.
That's March 28th?
No, March 29th. This incident happened on March 30th. So previously, the night before, I had found the messages. I had questioned him about it. He said it wasn't anything. He wasn't doing anything, blah, blah, blah. The next day, which was a Thursday, I was in the bedroom. Mr. Onyebajor was in the living room with my daughter. We were texting back and forth, talking, when he disclosed to me that he was in fact cheating on me with an acquaintance of mine. I wouldn't call her a friend, and that she was pregnant. I have the text message.
You have those text messages?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that correct, sir? That's either a yes or a no. She says she has the text messages.
Your Honor, no, because she has my phone.
Just a second. May I see the text message?
Yes, ma'am.
Just a second. Did you write in a text message to her, listen to me, that you were having a relationship, I didn't finish the question yet, in substance, you were having a relationship with someone else, and the person was now pregnant with your child?
I never wrote, no, Your Honor.
Okay,
She
may I
has
see it,
She
please?
has my phone the whole time.
May I see it? Before I look at this, sir, I'm going to give you one more chance. Were you having a relationship with someone else prior to March 28th?
No.
Yes or no?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Did another woman advise you that she was pregnant with your child?
No, Your Honor, I don't have
Okay.
a child.
You go.
Your Honor, I also have the messages between him and her.
Just a second.
Excuse me.
Yep, because you don't take it out of my wallet. Referring to this other woman. Wow, finally you're a man and admit that. How long have you been with her? Your response, she's pregnant too. Over 1 year.
Your Honor, she has my phone. Whatever
Just a second. Just watch this time. The car it says cat. I assume it means car is going to be taken away. You better run this time. You threatening me? You can't take the car. I have a contract. You say she's a better person than you will ever be. I'm going to take that car away and give it to her. Does that sound familiar to you? Stop waving. That sound familiar to you?
No, Your Honor, I never.
What do you mean no? That's from your phone.
She has access to she takes my phone and take off with it. She makes up all these stories.
I'm talking about your phone, sir.
Yes, Your Honor. She has my phone. Majority of the time she has my phone. She texts random.
So you mean she was texting from her phone and then back and forth to herself and your phone, and she was creating this?
There's a possibility.
What's the name of the woman?
Jennifer Velez. I have text messages between them also.
May I see them, please?
Of course, ma'am.
Okay, so what happens is when she gets your phone, she's able to make copies of what your conversations are, not only with her, but with Jennifer. Do you understand?
I don't have no, that's her friend. I don't have no relationship with her friend. They were friends. I saw the card to her, that was it.
I don't know whose messages these are.
The gray is her, and then the green is him. And those are the messages from her to him, asking him for money, telling him to delete the messages.
Okay, so now we're at March 28th, 29th, and 30th, somewhere around there. You're up.
Yes, ma'am. So I was in the bedroom, he was in the living room. That's when we were exchanging those text messages, when he had admitted that he was in fact cheating on me and the woman was pregnant. When I received those text messages, I kind of put me into a panic attack.
You got angry.
Yeah, I got angry. I was kind of hyperventilating. I was like,
Got it.
Yes, ma'am. So I was in the bedroom with the door locked. He came to the bedroom door, started banging on it, telling me to let him in. I did not open the door. I continued crying pretty hysterically. And that's when he proceeded to break through the door. He entered into the bedroom and immediately started assaulting me. He was hitting me. I was sitting on the edge of the bed. He grabbed me by my hair. He just kept...
Did you seek medical assistance?
Yes, I did.
Can I see the medical report?
I have the police report.
Who did you seek medical treatment from?
So I went to the hospital.
Just a second. Let me see the report from the hospital.
I don't have that.
It doesn't help me.
I don't have that with me.
And it doesn't help me.
Okay.
And it doesn't help me. Says she ultimately refused being transported to the hospital.
Yes, because
Not because, that's what it says.
No, yeah, I drove myself. I didn't want to go.
I don't know that because you don't have a report. You want to tell me how it came about that the mother of your two children, one and one to be, how she came to marry your cousin?
I didn't know about that at first.
Godwin Onyebujor has accused his child's mother, Deanna Williams, of assaulting him and lying to the police. Deanna claims she was the one assaulted.
Now, you left the hospital prior to treatment. Is that right?
Yes.
Just say yes or no. Yes, you left the hospital prior to treatment. Can I see what happened with this case? You were arrested.
Yeah, I was arrested.
You were arrested on this case, and that's the false arrest that you have.
False arrest, yes,
That's the false arrest that you have. May I please see the district attorney's write-up on that, or whatever you have that indicates the case was dismissed?
I think that's one of them. Okay, sorry. Let me double check on.
And while you're looking through documents, I'd like to see proof of the tickets that she got.
This was dismissed.
This incident occurred in April.
That's the last one she got arrested when she broke the wall.
No. I understand.
Oh, that's a dismissal.
I'm talking about the dismissal.
It's right there.
Yeah, the city attorney decided that they were not going to prosecute this case and advised you that there was no need to report to court to answer the charges. All right, then I want you to tell me what happened in this April incident when she damaged your kitchen. I'm going to go from one to the other. You went back to the apartment after all this happened. You went back to the apartment in April. What for?
To pick up my clothes. Mr. Onyebujor said he had them in bags on the front porch.
And what happened when you got there?
When I got there, I contacted the police.
Why?
So they could meet me there so it could be a peaceful exchange. The dispatcher, I told...
Don't tell me what they told you or you told them. You got to the house.
I got to the house, the door was open.
Just a second. Were there bags on the porch?
No, ma'am, there was not.
Okay. The door was open in April. Now, you had, according to you, this violent attack in March. Stop looking through your papers. You had this violent incident in March.
Yes.
So you go back to the house, and you walked into the house because the door was open.
Yes.
And then what happened?
I started to collect my things.
How did you start to do that?
I went into the kitchen, and I was getting my things.
What things?
My blender, my...
No, that's not your clothes, madam.
Well, I had...
That's not your clothes.
Okay.
That night you said, I wanted to get my clothes, and he was going to put them in a bag. Now you opened the door, you went into the kitchen, and you started to take... That's what you just told me.
The door was open.
The door was open. You went into the kitchen and started to take your things. What things? I started to take my blender.
All of my things.
Just a second. I don't know whose things they are, madam. You started to take things that weren't your clothes.
Okay.
And then what happened?
And then the brother saw me and told Mr. Onyebujor, who was in the restroom, that I was there.
And?
I started to quickly get out of the kitchen.
How did you do that?
I went to grab the stuff and I went out.
So you went to leave the kitchen with the stuff from the kitchen?
The blender, yes.
The blender. And?
Mr. Onyebujor came out of the bathroom and he attempted to take my phone. He lunged at me to take my phone. He had his hands...
Just a second. I thought, what was your phone there for? You had the blender.
I had the blender like this, and I had my phone like this.
Go ahead. So we went to take the phone.
So I dropped the blender, and I'm fighting to take my phone back from him. I believe he was trying to take my phone away.
I don't know what he was trying to do, madam.
He was trying to take my phone.
You were fighting back and forth with your phone. You dropped the blender, and
so then there by the stove there was a frying pan. I picked up the frying pan to I was gonna hit him. He backed off. I ran out of the apartment with nothing but my phone
and no clothes.
No clothes.
Well, you came for your clothes. You should have taken your clothes.
Yeah, I'm kind of, just with everything going on, I was just very emotionally distraught. And
okay, fine. Now, were you driving the car when this ticket came in? Notice date April the 3rd. Is this the only ticket that you have?
That's the only one I could get out, but she has 2 more tickets.
Well, I don't know if she has or not, sir, because that's evidence. And evidence is the only thing that I work on. This is an old ticket, madam.
Yes, I paid the tickets. I have my bank statement.
Did you pay? Let me see that this ticket was paid.
Just let me know the date, please.
The citation date was November 30th, 2022.
And the notice date was...
And you parked in disabled parking.
No, Your Honor, that was him. He took the vehicle up to the mall, and that was him. That was his ticket.
You want to know something? You know how much I don't care? I actually think that the two of you deserve each other.
No.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You want to tell me how it came about that the mother of your 2 children, one and one to be, how she came to marry your cousin?
I didn't know about that at first. We went to Africa before he started talking to him, because at that time we're not together. We separate many times, many occasions. Because sometimes we'll break up and she'll go back to her ex. It's always in and out of jail. So and like I said, she has a previous.
How many times, Miss Williams, have you been to Africa?
Twice.
When?
February 2018.
And what did you go there for?
We went there to marry his brother.
And tell me what the circumstances were.
The circumstances were Godwin, persuaded me.
This is Godwin?
This is Godwin, yes, ma'am. My boyfriend. We were never broken up. Persuaded me to marry his brother so he could be able to come over here.
Oh.
And did you?
Yes, ma'am.
And did he come over here?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, and he's here.
And he's here.
Prior to February of 2018, had you ever met his cousin brother?
No, ma'am.
Okay, your case is dismissed, sir. So's yours. We're done here. You deserve each other.
This court is adjourned.
I thought it wasn't fair because I think she just know how to manipulate the system.
I mean, she's fair.
She's a pathological liar.
He's I would say a Nigerian scammer, and I was scammed, but I allowed myself to be.
She's never want to make changes or better for herself. She always want to just have her way in every situation.
He's narcissistic. He's a sociopath. He's just honestly the worst person, and anybody who comes in contact with him should run.
We fell in love over the phone. We started talking. We got connected.
I'm divorcing him.
Just women full of lies. She's like a habitual liar. She just loves to lie, and she can't change that about her.
I hope he continues denying my son, and I can just go on and be happy without him because he's horrible.
I think the key takeaway of that is if you're going to commit a federal crime, don't subject yourself to a court's jurisdiction. Just sign away. Yep. Okay. That seems like a terrible one-step thinking plan.
You're absolutely right.
They thought that you wanted to hear squabble between his side, her side, arguing, fighting, multiple instances of what they call assault, when the underlying factor is there was a major federal crime committed here.
I don't know why
they
would subject themselves. You're absolutely right.
Oh, man.